part that most people don't like to do in my course because there's so much memorization that goes with this particular piece. You will have a quiz on this. What's today? Friday? Tuesday. All right? Yep, Tuesday. Then take a 0. I don't care.
Oh my God.
Now, I'm just telling you. Now,
I understand. You're struggling. Why don't you just press a picture and make it bigger?
I don't want to make it bigger. Now, I'm going to start coloring this so you can see. And I'm going to try to write very neatly. But y'all know my handwriting is not that great. Now, notice in group 1 that I colored everything in the group except hydrogen. Because is hydrogen a metal?
No.
No. Okay? Now, when I tell you to get up, I'm going to tell you to get 11 different colors. All right? Now, you don't have to necessarily have 11 colors. You can use black or gray. You can use brown. You could use a combination of colors. It doesn't matter if they're all exactly the same as mine. They do not have to be anything like mine. Okay? This is the alkaline earth metals. Now, notice the spelling. Alkali metals, alkaline earth metals. Now, next week when we take the quiz, some of you will get those confused, and you will write this one as the alkali earth metals. Will I take it?
Yes.
No. Some of you will call this the alkaline metals. They have to have the right names. So alkali metals is the first group. The second group is the alkaline earth metals. You cannot leave the word earth off, okay? Now, the transition metals are pretty big, all right? They're this whole middle section, and I'm not going to spend my day coloring neatly. You're not making a museum piece. You're doing notes, okay? These are called the transition metals. Now, at the bottom, if you were paying attention when you did your, that's the L word. Those are the lanthanide.
The spelling count?
Within reason. You don't have to be exact, but you can't have only the first letter right and expect to get full credit either. And these are the actinide. Now, the remaining 6 groups all have names that go on. These 4 are named after their elements. So this is what element? Borons was called the boron family, the carbon family, the nitrogen family, and the oxygen family. So those 4 are pretty easy. These 2 have different names. These were called the noble gases, and this is one you haven't heard. This is called the halogens. Okay? Now, I'll write those up in just a minute. So get your colored pencils so you can get coloring. Do not color dark so you can't go back and put symbols or numbers in because we're going to go back and put symbols in.
They're all up there.
You get all of them. All of gravity.
Not special.
How many colors do we need?
You need 11. But again, you can combine colors. You can use different patterns. You just need to be able to label them in a different way.
She said that. You want to
Yep,
fight?
any color you want.
I'm gonna do like the dark blue and light blue. Stop being picky.
Stop being impatient.
Right.
You don't need scissors, right? You don't need scissors.
You don't need scissors or glue, no.
Don't look.
It's hard not to.
You can't walk behind me like
Y'all? Yeah, you
who knows? Who knows?
You don't even know where your
He's
bottle is.
paranoid now because I told him his color.
They have. You don't know he gonna do something. They have your bottle.
Who y'all do?
Why not, like, you figure out which pencil you get. There's a sharpener.
Right, I got my baby's bottle.
Go get your public one, guys.
Give her a baby's
All
bottle.
right, that should be 11 different colors. Hopefully I
Oh,
didn't.
snap, my bad.
You're good.
Oh my God, who put that chair there?
You was sitting in the chair.
I think he moved it and he fell.
No, I think it
Now
was
we're
me.
gonna do it, he's like, oh
Oh my god.
Huh? What's all they gonna do?
He was like, oh, it's like crying. Oh my god, this is reaction to everything. Who is saying
Mario.
Mario?
How many cards do you think?
11.
But it's only like.
You like a dark and a light color. Like some of the reds are darker than the other. That's what I heard.
You can mix them up too.
Blue and red makes purple.
No, no,
Wait, we already have.
I already got one.
Right.
Ready, ready.
Yes, the coloring is not the point. The labels are the point.
What's
No, these are your notes for today.
These.
that'd be scary, Sam?
These are your notes for today, folks. These are not to be turned in.
So not great.
It's not a grade. These are notes. So can you use these on a quiz or a test?
Yeah, you ready for
No,
it?
they're notes.
What are you gonna do?
You haven't saw that TV in
For the whole time spell.
I mean, okay, look.
It's hilarious.
We weren't allowed to write notes. So I would write notes on the orange part, but I
That was
didn't.
perfect. Mario. So I can't have you got white.
That's the only time I ever did it. It was
Like,
like,
I got all my
What? What did
How
you
old
say?
are
Grace. What did you say? You still got the bottle?
she told us that when she first gave us the card.
But it's like crying love.
So I wanted to random color.
Yes, baby.
You can choose any color you want. Just make everything that I have a color up there a different color. Okay? Everything that I have a color needs to be a different
I
color.
don't have that many different colors.
That's fine.
We just get this.
We have to let black. We have to let that stuff too.
Yes.
Mom!
What?
What? That's one. That's one.
Yes.
You have a black pen.
Now, JF, this has
You
got
baby's
to
not
be
crying
because
yet?
it is 3 hours.
So,
Look, no.
I can break it.
Now, she has got all you said yesterday about this stuff.
I think this is. Yeah.
I just love the wall.
Don't show anybody. It's embarrassing.
All I gotta do is walk over. What is hydrogen?
You gotta match it.
It's a non-metal, it's just not referred to as an alkali metal.
So do we color that?
What? I don't like this one. This one. Here's another picture. Oh, yeah.
So do we color
What do you want me to do about it?
Or another color. I don't care. No.
What do you want? What are you trying to do with this?
Right.
I was
Oh,
trying to,
dang.
I was trying to tell you earlier that
It doesn't matter. It's ugly anyway. You put it
I was trying to tell you earlier that
You can, but it doesn't, it's not alkali metal.
Well, my
You should have said that. He wasn't listening. Where's your beats? Where's your beats?
No, not clear.
See that big tub in the back? With beads?
Yeah.
You got the back wall?
Oh, girl, you.
That's what beads
you don't
are.
get, like, nothing.
What? What are you?
Do you want these too?
Yes, Mr. Cole.
No, the pipe cleaners, no.
Well, we color the same color, right?
You don't have to have the same colors.
Just gotta label.
You just gotta label it. So if you take the first group and you make it green, above it in green, right, alkali metals.
Who did that?
There's a lot of color to take.
It's fine, most people probably did too.
There's color to take.
Can I just create a key instead of like labeling it above it?
Can you what?
Like create a legend instead of.
Yes, you can. However you want to do it. I mean, what? At this point, I'm afraid to do anything with that computer other than operate smart for fear of work.
Let me get ox. Let me get ox.
What? Quiet. Feel they got me really scared.
Yes. This we do. We go, I was just label this.
What? What do you mean, how are you supposed to label it?
Aren't we supposed to label it?
Yeah, that's the point. If you don't label what's up there, you're just coloring. The point is not to color that. You have to know the names of those groups next to you on the quiz.
The element name.
I don't care about the element names.
Right now, the whole element.
Why are you writing the element names?
He's a father. You gotta give him-
It is not that.
Mind your finger.
I'm not seeing his face.
Why are you writing the element names?
You know what, Mr. Long? Don't get mad because you. Who asked you?
You got an orange periodic table with the element names on it.
Well, maybe I want to write it.
If you want to write in all those names, you go for it.
Exactly.
You go right ahead. Why are you sharpening those colored pencils? There, stop that. No. There are manual ones right there on my desk. Well, you're gonna have to use them because that's what breaks my electric ones. Will somebody be kind enough to hit the mouse?
Why does it break?
Jose.
I don't know if it's the wax of the colored pencils or what, but it's usually the color, it's why it breaks them.
No.
Yeah, like that. That's it for right now. We're gonna add stuff to it in a little bit.
Add stuff.
Yep, add stuff.
Why do some of them have stars?
I'm gonna explain that.
Like today or?
Possibly today. Depends on time. Probably be Monday though. It's got to do with the periodic table being too wide, and so they just cut that section out and put them at the bottom.
Maybe. I was thinking about it. Like maybe they. Is it? Yeah.
Well, obviously. So that's the Halloween.
Now, for the other stuff we're gonna label, you need a dark color for the staircase, and then
Where were we at, Tony?
like black or something for the staircase. You need a dark color. All right, we got the I told you that one over there is breaking because we put those.
Watch out, watch out, watch out, watch out.
I can't get this one.
So.
All right, have we got them in color?
No.
Oh, people, we got other stuff to put on this thing. Come on, Excel. Now, we don't have time to outline every one of those boxes. This is not a museum piece.
Get it right, bro. Take your time, guys.
No, we need to finish coloring it today. I'm rushing her vision.
I mean,
Teachers, pardon the interruption. All students should be back in the classroom from lunch. Just want to make warm weather, and a lot of students are playing out in the commons area at lunchtime. Please ensure you do not bring your footballs or basketballs or any such type of thing to play in that area. Those things are not allowed. They can be a safety issue to anyone that gets hit. If I come out and I see those things, I will keep them for the front office until we decide to release them at the end of the year. So please make sure we are not bringing your toys in to play during the day, even at lunch. You can use those after school. Suggestion for all the males that are engaging in that football activity, you're missing from practice. So I would love to see you handling that ball at practice. Please make sure you show up when you're supposed to, and you will get plenty of playing time out on the field.
All right, how about now? Everybody had a chance?
No.
Too bad.
No, don't.
Too bad. We're moving on. All right, so if we look at the next thing we're gonna put on here. All right, we're gonna add some group numbers, some period numbers, and some states. All right, so draw in your staircase. Okay, don't draw it in. The rest of us will.
Refuse.
Now, you have to be able to find the period and the group number. Now, on your orange periodic table, the groups are labeled. Okay, you're going to get the orange periodic table. It won't be your orange periodic table, but it will be an identical replica of that on exam day. All right, now old system numbering and new system numbering are on there. I never use old system numbering. Okay, the state test on every question will give you both old and new system numbering in every question. Okay, so the groups, first of all, you can put this on the front or the back, wherever you have space. Because again, these are your notes. Groups run up and down. They're vertical columns. If you had a teacher in middle school, they may have even used the term families.
Yeah.
Okay? Groups are families, which is why we call them the carbon family, the oxygen family, the nitrogen family, because they're groups of vertical columns. So these are numbered 1 through 18. Now, the lanthanide and the actinide at the bottom do not have group numbers. Okay? They just don't have group numbers. All right, go away.
So like, it wouldn't be in.
They would not be in any groups. Okay? The lanthanide and actinide at the bottom do not have a group number. Okay? They have a period number, but not a group number. Now, periods are horizontal rows. Okay? They run left to right. They're horizontal rows. Now, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now, to answer Nigel's question from earlier, he asked me about the little stars on the periodic table. So since I'm talking about periods, let me go ahead and talk about that. On your periodic table, there's this little star that's right here. I just put a little dot right there. Okay? That little star goes with right there. Essentially, the periodic table is too wide. So some genius decided to cut the periodic table apart, took what should be right here, and put it at the bottom, and pushed the periodic table back together. So if you actually look at the numbering, this is number 57. This is number 72. This is number 58. And this is number 71. So what happens is when you get to number 57, you have to come down here. And when you get here, you have to go back right there.
Does that mean those are in period 6 and 7?
That's what it means. That's why I'm talking about it. So what that means for us, and the only thing you really have to know, is they've been cut out of that section of the periodic table. So this is period 6, and these two dots right here, 2 stars, they're period 7. Okay, there are no group numbers, but they do have period numbers. All right, so if you were somebody who did, let's say, argon, which was our opening question today. Okay, argon was right here. Now just color it in right there. What group was argon in? It's in group 18, right? Because that's the vertical column it's in. What period is it in?
3.
Periods run this way, so it's in period 3. Is everybody okay with that?
Yeah.
Yeah? All right. Now, we have 3 things left we need to add. We need to add states, types of elements, and then outer shell electrons. Okay? Because a lot of you would have to draw the Bohr model to find the outer shell electrons, right? We do not have time for Bohr models to do that. So, we're going to start with states, and then we're going to see what else we can get in. Now, states. 2 liquids on the periodic table. You can use any color you want. I'm going to use symbols for all of these. L, I'm going to use for liquid. These are the 2 you colored gray. Does anybody remember the 2 elements you colored gray on your periodic table? Hg and that's why we colored them. Okay? Hg and Br.
Where's HG?
Right there. 80. 80 and 35. Okay? Are our liquids. Now, from there, we need our gases. There are 11 of these that you have to know. Now, before you all flip out, 6 of them are easy because they're called the noble what? There's 6 of your 11, and 3 of them you automatically know because you've learned them and used them for years. So 6 are nice and easy. So we pick a color here. I'll use pink. All right, so G for gas. So over here, don't make them real big because we're going to need other symbols here. So G for my noble gases. There's 6 of my 11. What 3 elements do we know are gases?
Helium.
That's a noble gas. Hydrogen is 1. So oxygen is 1. It's the major component in air. Y'all should know from earth science. 78% of all the air in this room is made of this gas. Nitrogen. Okay? Those are the 3 I would have expected us to know. If you don't, then you have a little more studying to do than the 6. Okay? The 2 that I don't expect you to know that you're going to have to learn. What are the other 2 things you colored yellow besides those 3? Where were the other 2 yellow ones? They were right here beside the noble gases. It's F and Cl. Okay, those are the ones you colored yellow. F and Cl. F and Cl, NO, F and Cl. They're right there together in an L shape. And then H. Now, I'm not going to label the solids. Okay? If you want to make yourself a note, everything else is a solid. If you didn't write L or G, it's a solid. Now, if you need to write S in all those spots, then write S. But I'm not writing S in all those spots. Okay? Now, types of elements are metals, nonmetals, and metalloids. This is where you did the blue, green, orange, and yellow. Okay? Everybody got what they need? What are we waiting on, Urelli? All right. So I'm drawing my staircase again. All right. I'm going to use green. I'm going to use a triangle. This is a metalloid. All right. So metalloids. How many were there? Where were they at? Where were the green elements? On the stairs. All right. You had 7 of them here, all on top touching. 5 on top touching, and there were 2 on the bottom touching. Does anybody remember which 2 on the bottom were touching?
It was G, SB.
That is correct. Very good. GE and SB. Those were your metalloids. Now, the last thing we're going to label are the non-metals. Okay? Nope. I'm going to use a little circle for the non-metals. Now, where were the non-metals located? Under where?
I said underwear.
Okay, what color were the non-metals? Orange and what other color? Orange and what? There were 2. Orange and yellow. So where was orange and yellow? They were to the right. Okay? They were to the right of the stairs. So every element to the right of the stairs gets a little circle. Now, there's one exception. Who's the one that's not to the right that we need to put a circle in? Hydrogen. So that one over here that some of y'all colored as an alkali metal, it's not a metal that I did not color in, needs a circle. Now, that means everything else is a what? Everything else was blue, so it's what?
Metal.
That's right. Everything else is a metal. So, the majority of the periodic table is a metal and a what state?
Solid.
It's a solid. There's solids and metals. Now, we'll save the outer shell electrons for Monday. Okay? If you have colored pencils or a calculator, because I didn't get all my calculators back when I walked around and collected them, put your calculators away. Okay?